graduating class of 2025. Creativity, and perseverance. Tonight we are here to celebrate a remarkable group of young artists who have danced, painted, filmed, composed, written, acted, and collaborated, who have grown. To our graduates, you have spent these years building more than portfolios. You've built resilience. You've developed your voice. You've learned to take risks, to fail forward, to try again. You've chosen authenticity. You've chosen to create yourself. CASA has always stood for more than the arts. It stands for community. It stands for courage, and it stands for possibility. You have embodied those values, and as you leave this chapter behind, you carry them with you. Let me also take a moment to thank the families and supporters in this room tonight. Thank you for encouraging our students to pursue their passions, to our faculty and staff, thank you for mentoring, guiding, and believing in them. Graduates, whether you are heading to college, conservatory careers, or creating your own path, know this: you matter. Your voice matters, and your journey is just beginning. Now we will ask those of you that are able to stand for our national anthem, sung by Mara Wolf, a graduating senior in our music department. We now welcome to the stage CASA's CEO, Dr. George.
Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, the faculty and staff, and all the students of the Capital Area School for the Arts Charter School, I welcome you to this evening's ceremony. Today, we celebrate the class of 2025. These students have worked tirelessly to showcase their talents and their academic accomplishments to arrive at this moment. We are proud of each and every one of them for their perseverance and the effort to give of themselves and to be the best they could be. Before I yield the podium to our featured student speakers for this evening, because really, that's who you are here to hear. I would like to extend a thanks to our Board of Trustees, as well as to the members of the board of our foundation, whose support was invaluable this year in making this celebration possible. I thank our dedicated staff who are here with us today for working with our students to nurture their personal growth. And lastly, and very importantly, I thank you, the family and friends that make up the CASA community, for your unwavering support throughout the whole year at the many events and the many days and nights that you assisted your children. Personally, I thank you for the privilege to have served CASA as the CEO and to be part of this incredible academic journey for our seniors. Without further delay, I invite our first speaker, Brody Berlin, to give the first presentation.
Good evening, everybody. If you don't know me, you're about to. My name is Brody Berlin, and I would be remiss if I didn't begin my speech today to thank my wonderful and supportive friends, family, and teachers, specifically Miss Callan, the greatest mentor I ever could have asked for. Aside from that, I'd like to direct my speech today to my graduating class, as they are the ones with whom I've prayed the past 4 years. Let us take a moment to reminisce. Think back to your first moments walking into Strawberry Square to see CASA. You look ahead, you think, whoa, an escalator? You look up, you think, whoa, a food court? Finally, you come to the conclusion that you'll be going to school in a mall. So, you tell friends and relatives. Oh, how naive we were then. Now when people ask me, isn't your school in a mall? I go, it's really more of a square. Instead of a Hot Topic and a Yankee Candle, we have Pedigo electric bikes that's mysteriously always empty, and the vacant husk of an old Members First credit union. And then there's the deceptive arcade. We all had those 15 seconds of elation as we thought to ourselves, whoa, this place has an arcade? But it is only an arcade in the way that a covered passageway with arches along one or both sides is an arcade. Now, the real OGs can harken back to the grand sculpture that used to stand as the masthead of Strawberry Square. And that mighty contraption was a weird and zany clock that made so much noise all the time. I'd like you to consider that clock, for while you may have forgotten her, she will never forget you as one of the last classes she saw walk up and down the separate wings of CASA. Now, the thing about Strawberry Square is that despite its numerous changes and adaptations throughout the years, it's really only one clock away from the same place it's always been. Whereas CASA, the school we go to, has been very sensitive to change in its time since we've been here, and I care to argue that we've seen some of the most change since our tenure. If I've learned anything from the vast differences I've seen from my first year at CASA to my last, it's that change is endurable, strengthening, and a necessary pathway that can lead to even greater success. To be honest, I'm comfortable where I am, and this much change can be overwhelming. I like being at CASA for all of its unique quirks, and I like living in rural Dover, PA. Shout out the big 17315, best zip code around. And I like being a senior in high school, and I like my theater class and my friends. It still seems a little unpredictable what my future might look like after I step back from this left turn today. But I can trust in what I've experienced and learned from this school. Change is endurable, change is necessary, and the greatest changes will be the ones we seek to make for the best of ourselves and our world. I'd like to say that the changes I've seen most since our first years here are among all of you. I've seen each of you improve as artists and as people, and I've had the privilege of going to a small school where I pretty much know all of you enough to say that confidently. Now that I see you as the people you create yourself to be over the past 4 years, it feels difficult to turn back the clock and recall how you all were as underclassmen. With any luck, you'll have forgotten what I was like back then too. There is at least one thing I'm proud to say hasn't changed about me since I was a freshman, and that is my love for my art. Whether you relate to that sentiment or not, consider that there is something invaluable about artistry and creativity that led you to come to CASA in the first place. No matter where you are now, you were once a weird, artsy, eccentric little art kid that came to the school because you had a passion to create something that you couldn't have created anywhere else. That creative wonder and passion is so beautiful and yet so fleeting. So don't let yourself realize someday that you lost the thing that made life fun and whimsical when you were a child, and hold on to it now. In a way, you too were once that weird, zany, artsy clock that stood all those years in Strawberry Square. And even if the artistic clock inside you has stopped ticking, and even if it has been torn down, and even if it has been replaced with a jarring corporate yellow cube, there will always be a clock right here that is ready to strike when the time comes. You just gotta wind it, baby. Now, go out there, always do what you love, always follow your heart, and always remember that there's a passion inside you that no matter where you think it went, never stop following the ticking rhythm that keeps your heart beating. Thank you, class of 2025, I love you!
Dr. Seuss once said, sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Reflecting on everything that's happened at CASA over the past 4 years, I've come to realize just how profound those words truly are. We've only been at CASA for, 4 years, but it's felt more like 6, 7. Let's be real. It wasn't always sunshine and rainbows over here. At one point, we lost so many incredible faculty members in just a single school year. Field trips, bro, they were a pipe dream. We couldn't even afford them. Publicity, practically non-existent. And students, well, they started leaving, disheartened and unfulfilled. Watching this place, my home, begin to crumble was gut-wrenching. I feared for CASA's future, and selfishly, I feared for my own. Would I still be able to pursue what I love most, dancing? When I first came to CASA, dancing was just a hobby. But this school transformed it into my purpose, my passion, and my forever love. CASA gave me the freedom to express myself, the people who nurtured my growth, and the environment that allowed me to flourish. That being said, my freshman year dancing, let's just say it was more of a dance mom's blooper reel rather than a Broadway debut. But what I lacked in technique, I made up for in raw creativity and heart. Over time, I grew, not just as a person, but as a dancer. And I owe much of that growth to the people who have walked this journey with me. Take Miss M, for example. Her motivational quotes on Canvas were probably something she thought we all ignored. Little did she know, one of those quotes, nothing to prove, only to share, would become the foundation of my college essay and a mantra I'll carry for life. Miss M's energy was, let's call it, controlled chaos. But that chaos gave me a space where I could be myself, whether I needed to vent or just relax. Miss M didn't just teach dance, she taught life. And for that, I'll always be grateful. Then, there are my classmates. Friendships that have stood the test of time, even since middle school. We faced bullies together and came out stronger. They pushed me to be great, which has enabled me to be unapologetically myself. They've helped me through my mental health struggles and with my coping mechanisms, and everything about them have shaped me into who I am today. Gilad Goldman, Kyner Smith, Mara Wolf, Amelia Williams, Afia Moko, Dynasty Jackson, and Athena Irani, and Adriana McKellar. Thank you. Being your friend has had nothing but endless memories, and I can only hope that all of us can be lucky enough to experience these kinds of friendships. Looking back, it's the challenges, the people, and the memories that have made my journey at CASA unforgettable. This place gave me more than just an education. It gave me a journey, a home, a purpose, and a family. For that, I'll always be grateful. To the graduating class of 2025, we've had quite the ride. We've had bumps, and potholes, and roadblocks, and detours, and U-turns, and you get the point. But we've also had open roads, free sailing, and the best navigation a student could ever ask for. CASA teachers and administration. Particularly for me, that's Ms. Chris and Ms. Willane. Thank you. To my classmates, congratulations and the best of luck. And as we say in dance, mad.
Who gives a high school graduation speech? I think of class valedictorians, the smart students, ones that have that 3.999 GPA. Those where school was easy and effortless. I am not that student. My name is Lily Valley Compton. I'm in film and media arts, and I'm dyslexic. For a long time, I thought that meant I just wasn't good at school. I remember the confusion of kindergarten. I was unable to count past 10, recall my birthday, home address, or distinguish my left from my right. My left from my right. I couldn't even remember the alphabet without the song. I never wanted to read out loud or speak in any of my classes, but discovering art changed me. It moved me. To me, art is instinctive. It runs within me and fuels everything that I do. But it's also like that for all of us. It's not just a thing, it's a way, one that we all follow. Maybe not Alec, but the rest of us. As students, we take it for granted. But it's actually unbelievable to many people that we go to an art high school. That for 2 hours a day, every day, for the last 4 years, we have spent time honing our skills and passions. When I tell people about this school, most adults sigh and tell me how much it would have changed their lives if they had the opportunity to attend a school like this. A school where you can embrace your art, where it is treated just as importantly as your academic classes. A place where you have the freedom to express yourself, to put on performances and screenings, and to grow as people and artists. It was here that I found out I'm not bad at school or unable to do things. I just do them differently. Now I would like to take some time to thank people who have shaped me and all of us. Mr. Z, over the summer, when I found out we were getting a new film teacher, I was scared. Scared to start over, scared of change, scared of who it might be. Scared they might not be able to handle the constant pushback I give. But from the moment I met Mr. Z, I knew he was going to do great things for the film program. And he did. I watched him completely transform it. He never said no to an idea. He fostered everyone's creativity and helped us grow so much in such a short amount of time. My biggest regret is that I don't get to have him as a teacher for longer. In just 1 year, he has done incredible, unseen work, and I cannot wait to see what he does next. Miss Leonard. My freshman year, she was my laid-back history teacher. But over time, I watched her take on more and more responsibility within the school. Ms. Leonard became our principal during a time where students felt unsure. She stepped up and took on more than I can imagine. And I know that I, along with many of my fellow seniors, will never forget the once-in-a-lifetime experiences she planned for us on the Europe trip. Ms. Christ, even after leaving CASA, you remain one of my most influential teachers, helping me understand math a little bit, but understand myself a lot more. Mr. Shickley, over the past 4 years, anytime I have felt confused, upset, or frustrated, I was bumming passes off of teachers to go to Shickley's. So obviously, at the beginning of this year, I walked into his office on the verge of tears, just like I have every year since freshman year. I told him I was overwhelmed, that I felt behind in school, behind in life, and that I had no clue what came next for me. And Shickley, in his infinite wisdom, told me to chill out, slow down, and stop worrying so much, to let some things slip through the cracks if I needed to. Mr. Shickley is always somewhere doing something. He's taught some history, been a special ed teacher, a designated tech guy, and Chromebook fixer. And even though I'm not exactly sure of his official title or all the behind-the-scenes work that he does, for me, Shickley was always the person I could go to for advice. So as I stand here today, I can proudly say to him, and to you all, I still am completely stressed out. I still feel behind, and I still have no idea what comes next. But at least I can say I'm not worried, I'm excited. To the film class, I have loved watching you grow as filmmakers. I've loved growing alongside of you. Every project, every last-minute editing crunch, every screening where we hyped each other up and gave each other feedback, I've enjoyed every second of it. Thank you all so much. I'm so proud of the impact that this graduating class has had on the film program. We went from our films being stretched out on a huge IMAX screen that made them look crazy to the current film festival. It was our class that came up with the idea to hold a film festival and move the screening to the West Shore Theater. We created awards and committees and have turned that night into a highlight for us as artists and as CASA. I'm proud of the work that the underclassmen have continued to do to change and elevate the festival. Before I knew how to read or write, I was making films. It's always been who I am. It's not just a form of expression, it is my language. It's how I connect to those around me. Am I still dyslexic? Yes. But it doesn't define who I am. My art does. So thank you to the school, this rare, incredible place, for giving us all the space to figure out who we are, how we work, and what we love. And to the entire class of 2025, all I have left to say is, as artists, we are intrinsically tied to our work. It shows others glimpses into the most intimate parts of ourselves. We are cursed with the necessity to create and put ourselves out there. And although that can be scary, and we ourselves are our own harshest critics, we each have stories that no one else can tell. So tell your story. Even if it takes a petition to do so, tell it for yourself. Continue to create different paths for yourself. Try new things, fail, and get better. Share your process and work with everyone and anyone who will listen. Wherever you go next, whether you're holding a camera, paintbrush, or a script, or just an idea, remember that you owe the world your eyes. Thank you. You may know her from her hit film Sweet Money, Sarah Kelly.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Kelly, and I'm a proud graduate from the Film and Media Arts program. The last 4 years have taught me so much. To my graduating class, we made it, and I'm so proud of us all. Can you believe we're finally here? I came to CASA after many years in a community of schools that were not diverse and were non-white and LGBTQ+ students, and anyone else who was different often felt unwelcome. But that has not been the case at CASA. Since my first day, CASA has been diverse, welcoming, and inclusive. Here we celebrate the things that make us unique. We spent countless hours together pouring our hearts into our work, whether it was making films, acting, painting, writing, dancing, or making music. We have all grown, not just as artists, but as individuals. We've faced a lot of challenges, learned from each other, and celebrated our unique talents. It's been a privilege to be at CASA. I want to thank all of our teachers and administrators for helping us learn and develop confidence in different ways. Mr. Corman was our film teacher for 3 years. He taught us to not take life too seriously, and he taught us funny dad jokes. While we were sad to lose Mr. Corman, in just a year we have grown to love Mr. Z. He has been supportive and encouraging, and he has taught us not only how to get the angles, but also how to advocate for ourselves and for our art. I have a special thanks to Mrs. Warner, who always gives the best advice and believes in us even when we don't believe in ourselves. She even let me show up with actors, cake mix, and lots of icing to film my movie about a baking contest at her house. Ms. Delannon, thank you for pushing us to the max, and for me personally, helping me get out of my comfort zone. Because of your help, I'm standing up here giving a speech that freshman, sophomore, or junior Sarah would never. Ms. Rosendale, thank you for teaching us about history, current events, and just some of your favorite things. Mrs. Leonard, you were such a great history teacher, but an even better principal. You find a way to listen and to make people feel comfortable, but also hold us to high standards and get things done. For 4 years, you've slayed. There are so many more people that make CASA great every day. Can everyone clap for our teachers, administrators, and staff? Each
each year has had so many memories, from friends who have moved on to friends we will have forever. Shout out to Dakota and Soraya. The years went by so fast, and I'm proud to say I'm graduating from CASA. This is it, class of 2025. It's time to get our diplomas and go off into the big world. Let's embrace the future with creativity and courage. Remember to chase your dreams and never underestimate the power of your voice. Let's make a mark on the world. Remember to never ever give up no matter how hard things get. The quote I live by is what you're not changing, you're choosing. So if there's something in your life that you don't like, then change it. Congratulations everyone. Peace out, CASA. The next speaker is the amazing and talented Kymir Smith.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay. Good evening, CASA faculty, students, administrators, and parents. It is truly an honor to stand here tonight, surrounded by such ambition, talent, and hope for the future. I've been looking forward to this moment since my 9th grade year, waiting for the day I could look back at my time at CASA, reflect on what I've learned, and pass on this bit of wisdom I've learned along the way. When I first arrived here, I was filled with excitement about what I could accomplish in a space full of artists, creatives, and leaders. But I also carried a quiet pressure, the feeling that I had something to prove. I didn't come in with the same training or experience as many of my peers, and that left me feeling like I needed to catch up, to become like everyone else just as well. Because of that, I spent a lot of time trying to mold myself into something that I wasn't. Rushing to fit in instead of allowing myself to grow into what I know I should have been. And one of the most valuable lessons CASA has taught me is this. You don't need to blend in to belong. You need to find what makes you special and expand on it, because that's what makes you irreplaceable. CASA has given me so many opportunities to grow, create, and perform. Yes, but more importantly, it gave me the space to shine in my own way. From showcases and arts festivals to Senators' Game performances, dance competitions, and even flash mobs. I've had experiences here that I know I couldn't have gotten anywhere else. And just as meaningful as those opportunities are the people who have made me who I am today. Miss M, who inspires me to keep growing and try bold out-of-the-box ideas. Know that becomes what you make it. So make it beautiful, make it inspiring, and make it yours. As I prepare to leave, I want to leave you with this final piece of advice. Believe in yourself. Don't wait for some right time to become the person you want to be. Be that person now. The only thing between you and yours is time. And time is just a man-made tool to track change. But who's to say that change isn't 3 hours from now, 2 minutes from now, or even this very moment? So, I know many of you dislike it, but as we say at CASA, be kind, be great, be you. And while we always say create yourself, tonight I'll add this. Be kind, be great, be you, and take a moment to recognize yourself, not just for this accomplishment today, but for all the greatness still ahead. Thank you. And now, we'll be hearing from our next student speaker, one of the kindest people I've ever met, Hazel Tilder.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Hazel. Hi. Okay, my name is Hazel, and as of today, I am a graduate of the Visual Art program here at CASA. Something I think CASA kids are known for is their ability to express themselves, both through their arts and through their actions. I started experimenting with the idea of self-expression when I was around 13, and my way of doing that was, and still is, through clothes. Admittedly, a lot of my outfits at the time involved clip-on bow ties and suspenders with basketball shorts. I thought it was a killer look. A few years before that, I had gotten my hair cut, short for the first time at the Holiday Air in Lowell. which left me with this complete Justin Bieber haircut across the front. But everything, the hair and the clothes, made me feel really good. It did also result in waitresses always calling me buddy. Finding those ways of making my feelings be seen made me so giddy and helped me secure who I was. It is a little embarrassing sometimes to look back on something you've done, something you said, maybe something you've worn, and realize that it doesn't represent who you've become. But that is such an important part of life, change. Maybe now, as a graduating senior, I wouldn't bust out the bow tie, but I have no desire to take away the joy that it once gave me. It is worth it because you will always have things to be embarrassed about, but without failures, we would miss out on that joy and pride, and even in the worst cases, the determination to do better. It's not just self-confidence, though. So many of us have found ourselves by finding each other. When I think about CASA specifically, in my experience, I have never met this many gay people in one place. Finding out I was a part of that community while in a space like this with all of you who are accepting and kind was the best possible outcome. It's a huge part of my identity now, and I don't know if I would feel that open and comfortable without all of these people who are the same as me in one way or another or immensely accepting of it. When somebody feels comfortable with others like that, like how I felt, that's when the magic really kicks in, and they're able to just try stuff, to mess around with failing, yet continuing to move forward. That's how we can open ourselves up and take our time to be who we want to be. Who we want to be, too, doesn't have to be stagnant. I think it's okay to change that. The pieces will come together if you act in a way that is true to the version of you that exists right now. It is such a beautiful thing to be a person and have the ability to make choices that reflect how you feel. Be proud of that. That is what I wanted to tell you tonight. Do what you love what you do, be who you want to be, and most importantly, be who you are. Thank you. Next is the amazing and wonderful Amelia Williams.
Good evening. Parents, teachers, classmates, faculty, and staff of CASA, the Capital Area School of the Arts, or as I like to call it, home. I've had some of my highest moments here because of this school. My friends, my band, my classes, my classmates, my teachers, my performances, my opportunities. Through all of these moments and experiences, the biggest feeling that comes out of this school for me is love. I don't think I've ever loved a place as much as I love this school. This place is a home, a family. CASA took care of me. Though stressful, anxiety-inducing, and outright infuriating at times, ultimately it was invigorating. CASA has pushed us all to grow in ways we never imagined. I went into CASA loving music. It was my favorite hobby. Now it's not a hobby at all. It's a part of me. I started at CASA knowing a bit about music. I was a decent drummer, knew a thing or two about piano. A couple months ago, I was reflecting on my CASA audition. Naturally, out of curiosity, I asked Mr. Boyer about it. He shared with me that music students actually get a score for their audition. And of course, Mr. Boyer was kind enough to share with me mine. I got a 59.5 out of 100. Just barely failed. Ironic, right? Actually, I failed nearly every category. Yikes. But then for one category, the potential category, I got a 10 out of 10. And that's what got me into CASA. And that's what CASA is about. It's about seeing potential, inspiring it, and honing it. I am so grateful for Mr. Boyer for seeing my potential and accepting me into CASA. Freshman year was when I first started cultivating my sound, discovering who I am and understanding what's important to me, coming into my own as an artist. Now I compose whole new pieces of music and the bassist in a band. And I'm going to study percussion and music composition at Berklee College of Music. Thanks to CASA, thanks to all of you. Composing music goes beyond just the sound for me. Now I think of the visuals, the story, the movement, and how they all connect and intertwine. I look back on all our IA projects, manipulations freshman year, the coming of age film sophomore year, to our first CASA Live dreams, to our last. CASA made this possible, not just for me, but for all of us. If you don't know by now, Mr. Boyer is the longest standing teacher at CASA. Our music class has gone through a lot of changes. Students left, joined, and left again. Only one other student, other than myself, stayed in the music program all 4 years. It's been a journey, a truly wonderful journey. This year, I got the opportunity to intern for Mr. Boyer's underclassmen music program. Guiding these students, watching them settle into the school, seeing their artistic growth has been one of the most sincerely meaningful experiences. I watch as Mr. Boyer encourages his students to challenge themselves, ourselves, to find new avenues of creativity. On behalf of previous, current, and future students, thank you, Mr. Boyer, for pushing us to grow and being a part of our family. One person in particular is the reason we made it here today, Ms. Leonard. You stepped in when we needed you most, and you sacrificed, well, sanity for us. We were paying attention. We saw you try. We saw you reach and hold on tight so the school wouldn't slip away. Ms. Leonard, you need to know that we saw you. Through everything, we will always appreciate you and what you have done for us. All this to say, thank you for saving our home. Thank you. We are such a small class, 40-something students. We face so many challenges together. Throughout the years, we've gotten to know and love each other as a family. You all took care of me, were there for me, in ways some of you are aware of, and maybe some of you aren't. I will always be incredibly grateful to each and every one of you for that. Many of our friends and teachers have left CASA, and many have joined partway through the journey. Whether you started with us at the beginning, or here with us now at the finish line, you are still a part of this home. CASA is magical in so many ways. I don't think you're supposed to love school this much, but CASA is different from most schools. It challenged us in different ways. It forced us to be ourselves as artists, rather than mimic the ordinary sights. Individually, we all had our own journey, but we were never in it alone. We always had each other to depend on, to look up to. For that, I will always be eternally grateful to each and every one of you. Our adventure here is coming to an end, and we all have new roads to travel down and explore. But luckily, no matter where we end up, we can and will always have a home here within CASA. Thank you all for being a part of my family. I'd like to introduce our final student speaker, Dynasty Jackson.
Hello, friends, faculty, and of course, CASA's senior class of 2025. We are all here not only to celebrate this huge milestone, one that we'll remember for the rest of our lives, but also to say goodbye to the things we're going to call home. I've gone to 6 different schools in my life, but CASA is the place where I truly felt at home. CASA is where I found friends who became my family. My sister, Spirit, went to CASA before me, and the summer before my freshman year, we would sit and talk, I would talk, about how excited I was to make new friends, but also how scared I was that I wouldn't have the same experiences she always talked about when she came home. I measured my high school experience against hers, and when it didn't match, I felt like I wasn't doing it right. But I soon learned comparison is a thief of joy. Once I let go of that mindset and embraced my own journey, I found my place. Spirit will always be my cooler older sister, and though I am my own person, I carry her wherever I go. I hope Spirit finds comfort in knowing that when she left CASA, I wasn't alone. We have all helped CASA flourish as a community, or a better name than that. We may not all be the best of friends, and we've certainly had our differences, but we are all uniquely bonded by our love for creating something beautiful and calling it art. Guiding us through this hard work of collaboration, development, and artistic expression are our teachers. One woman in particular whom I've had the honor of calling my theater teacher is Miss Lauren Callan. Miss Callan has taught me more than any other teacher how to make a character vulnerable, sassy, or smart. And more importantly, how to translate that into my real life. If you would have told me 3 years ago that I'd be crying on the floor because I was so connected to my character, I wouldn't have believed you. Then Miss Callan came in with her 48 questions and private moments and broke down barriers I didn't even know I had up. Her influence is one that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Having theater in the morning just makes it impossible to stay in a bad mood. I could walk in on the verge of tears and leave laughing because we played a game of cat and mouse or Gregor tag. Saying goodbye to Miss Callan, our theater class, our inside jokes, and the ensemble we built is hard, but I know this goodbye is forever. The friends I've made at CASA are ones that I can confidently say I'll have forever. It's crazy to imagine myself without the influence of people I now hold so closely to my heart. When I came into CASA, I never expected to experience the friendships I've made, make saying goodbye so hard. Laura Sullivan, Bailey Bacus, Sam Seltzer, Afia Omoko, Desire Payton, Sophia Sala, and Eliana Sahaye have become an integral part of my life I never thought I'd have. The school has experienced many changes, from teachers to students, and those changes have been scary. While CASA underwent these many different shifts, what we as students can count on was each other. Throughout life, when things change again, and you get that beautiful feeling again, the people who were there for you then will be there for you now. I'm blessed to say that since my freshman year, the 2 constants of my life have been Nora Sullivan and Sam Sullivan. The biggest advice I can give you is to find yourself Nora and Sam. And if you already have, hold on to them. Find people who will do movie mornings with you, and find people who will cry the same love with you. One of my favorite moments in CASA is Miss Flood's 9th grade honors class at the end of the year when we did our poetry unit. Bailey Bacus performed one of the best pieces of poetry I've ever heard. And Bailey has a way with her words that make you need to hear them, and she is one of the biggest reasons I found my own voice. She's the reason I can laugh at myself and know that things are only embarrassing if you make them embarrassing. Wherever each of us ends up today, it is important to find your people. Even if you don't, somehow, they always find you. Sophomore year was one of the hardest years for me, but when I started to get closer to Afia Omoko and Isaiah Payton, the bad days turned into the best memories. When we leave here today, there will be a great amount of uncertainty. You may have the feeling that you won't make friends as easily as you did here, and trust me when I say you are not alone. What makes me confident in myself and in you is that back at my lowest, Afia and Zai came into my life and became my sisters forever. No matter the situation, the right people will find you when you least expect it and need it most. Senior year has been full of stress, memories, happy cries, sad cries, and the most fun I've ever had. None of this would be possible without the amazing help of friends Zai Payton, Kymir Smith, Afia Omoko, and Vlad Goldman, my fellow house officers. Thank you for everything. I can't put into words how much this year meant to me and how much you all mean to me. The bonds we formed here aren't fragile. We've gone through too many teachers, performances, dances, and late-night adventures to ever erase each other from our lives forever. The impact these people have had on my life is immeasurable, and I will forever be thankful for the lessons you've all taught me. I would like to thank God, my mom, my dad, and the bonus parents they gave me for getting me where I am today. All of the late-night talks, arguments, taboo games, and family nights came from love. And I will always thank God for putting me in his life with you guys. Now, as we say goodbye, not just to CASA, but to the little things that made it home, like Two Brothers Pizza and the relationship we built with the workers over the years, gathering around the Strawberry Square stage and staying after school to explore the city with friends. But even as we say goodbye to the place, we'll carry the memories, and most importantly, each other forever. I'd like to end my final goodbye to CASA with one last five-finger check-in and one last CASA moment. Today, I am at a 4. I would be at a 5 because I am incredibly proud of everyone in this room and the journey we've all gone through together. I am a little sad that we are finishing our final chapter of high school to begin a new book outside of these CASA walls. My CASA moment is that for a couple hours, the last time our entire class is together is to celebrate each other with nothing but love and pride. Wherever life takes us today, I know we'll be okay. CASA gave us the chance to cultivate something truly special, a family. A family isn't something you say goodbye to. It's something that stays with you always. Congratulations, CASA Senior Class of 2025, and thank you. Now I'd like to introduce our creative writing teacher, Mrs. Warner.
After all of these amazing, wonderful students. Okay, so graduation is more than a ceremony. It's a rite of passage, a turning point, a celebration of growth, achievement, and creative promise. Tonight, we gather not only to honor our remarkable students, but also to recognize the legacy of creative spirit that continues to shape our CASA family. 10 years ago, a family came together to celebrate the extraordinary life of Ellen Brody Hughes. Ellen was a vibrant, creative force here in Harrisburg, a believer in the transformative power of words and their ability to move hearts, shift minds, and strengthen communities. To celebrate her passion, this year marks the inaugural presentation of the Ellen Brody Hughes Art and Soul Award, an honor created to recognize student work that speaks with both artistic excellence and emotional truth. Without further ado, this year's second place recipient is Miss Lila Neal for her poem, She is Feeling Angry. Come on up here, Lila. And finally, it is with great joy that I announce our first place winner, Olivia Jones, for their piece, The Art of Making Caramel. Congratulations. We are so grateful for Mr. Nicholas Hughes and his family for funding these prizes awarded to our students. And we would like to acknowledge their presence here tonight. Thank you so much.
In the few days leading up to this event, I kept telling our seniors that it is within my power to keep them from going. After hearing these presentations, I think you can understand and appreciate my hesitation to let them go. It has been a true privilege and a joy to be here with them and to be exposed to their artwork, their passion, and the fire that burns within them to be part of the community of CASA. Nevertheless, I will do my duty as I was called upon to do, and that is to declare them ready to stand for graduation. In recognition of the records and achievements of the students of this class, and by the virtue of the authority vested in me as the Chief Executive Officer of the CASA Charter School, I certify to our Board of Trustees that these students have met the graduation requirements of our school, and I take pleasure to recommending them to you as a graduating class of 2025. Ms. McDonald, President of our Board of Trustees, if you would please join me here at the podium.
Acknowledge the certification and recommendation by the CEO and principal and by the authority vested in me as the President of the Board of Trustees. I take great pleasure in presenting you the graduating class of 2025 for the conferring of the diplomas.
The graduates will take the stage for the presentation of their diplomas. First row, please rise. Braden Abel. Chris Albert. Mia Amoko. Bailey Venkes. Molly Bartolo. Isis Braxton. Joanna Fitz. Atticus Gow. Gilad Goldman. Christopher Hernandez. Grace Hoven. Dynasty Jackson. Jonesy. Sarah Kelly. Sophia LaSala. Nikki. Adriana McKellar. Sage Hong Nolan. Nasiah Lene. Nikolai Schroeder. Karina Seltzer. Shannon Sheehan. Bethany Shickley. Kymera Smith. Emma Still. Nora Sullivan. Hazel Tilder. Nadia Trufon-Maslaw. Brody Berlin. Rose Wenzel. Amelia Williams. the members of the 12th graduating class of CASA, let me be the first to offer you my warmest congratulations to you and my very best wishes for a rewarding and fulfilling life, filled with much love and happiness. Thank you parents, family members, staff, board members, for your support of these students throughout their educational journey. All graduates, please rise.
Come on.